United States quietly built something so powerful it doesn't need hype. This is CVN-79, a floating city, a nuclear monster, and America's next dominance machine. 1. The birth of America's most intimidating carrier. CVN-79, the USS John F. Kennedy, isn't just another aircraft carrier. It's the second ship of the Gerald R. Ford class, built to replace aging Nimitz-class giants. From day one, this ship was designed to fix decades-old problems: massive crew requirements, outdated steam systems, and limited electrical power. What makes Kennedy different is how she was built. Instead of traditional construction, the Navy used modular superlift sections, some weighing nearly 95 metric tons, allowing entire sections to be pre-outfitted with wiring, piping, and electronics before assembly. That alone shaved years off construction time and reduced future maintenance headaches. But even with all that efficiency, CVN-79 didn't rush. Delivery was delayed intentionally so systems could be fully integrated during construction rather than patched later. The Navy wanted this carrier mission ready the moment it enters service, not years afterward. That decision signals one thing clearly: this ship isn't about speed to launch, it's about long-term dominance. When Kennedy joins the fleet, she won't be catching up. She'll already be ahead.
USS John F. Kennedy, CVN-79, is the second Gerald R. Ford-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier built for the United States Navy. Construction of the USS John F. Kennedy has utilized modular construction techniques, including the installation of large superlift sections weighing around 905 metric tons. This method allows significant outfitting of equipment such as pumps, valves, electrical panels, and ventilation before assembly, accelerating the build process. Despite initial plans for delivery in 2024, the handover has been delayed to 2025 to incorporate more work during construction and reduce post-delivery maintenance time, ensuring the carrier is mission-ready upon delivery. It will serve as the most intimidating carrier in the U.S. Navy's fleet.
2. Nuclear power that rewrites the rules. At the heart of CVN-79 are two Buildr 1B nuclear reactors, and these aren't upgrades. They're generational leaps. Each reactor produces nearly 3 times more electrical power than the reactors used on Nimitz-class carriers. That power isn't just about speed, though yes, Kennedy can exceed 30 knots with virtually unlimited range. The real story is electricity. This ship generates enough power to support systems that don't even exist yet: directed energy weapons, next-generation sensors, and future unmanned aircraft. Maintenance intervals stretch to roughly 12 years, meaning fewer refueling overhauls and more time on deployment. In simple terms, CVN-79 doesn't just sail farther, it stays dangerous longer. This power surplus is what allows everything else on the ship to exist: electromagnetic catapults, advanced radars, lightning-fast elevators. Without these reactors, the Ford-class vision collapses. With them, Kennedy becomes less of a ship and more of a mobile power grid floating across the world's oceans.
It is powered by 2 advanced Buildr A1B nuclear reactors, which provide up to 3 times the energy output of the previous A4W reactors used in Nimitz-class carriers, enabling speeds in excess of 30 knots and essentially unlimited range with maintenance intervals projected at about 12 years.
3. The flight deck built for relentless air power. The flight deck of CVN-79 is where intimidation becomes reality. Spanning roughly 780 feet long and 257 feet wide, this deck is engineered for speed, not spectacle. Kennedy can launch and recover 60 to 70 aircraft, including F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters and F/A-18 Super Hornets. Instead of traditional steam catapults, the ship uses EMALS, electromagnetic aircraft launch systems. These systems deliver smoother, precisely controlled launches that reduce stress on airframes and allow lighter aircraft, including drones, to operate safely. Pair that with advanced arresting gear, and recovery becomes faster, safer, and more efficient. The result? Higher sortie rates. In combat conditions, Kennedy is designed to push over 160 sorties per day, with surge capacity far beyond that. This isn't about launching planes, It's about launching pressure nonstop, day after day, without burning out crews or machines.
The flight deck spans approximately 780 feet by 257 feet and is equipped with 4 catapults, 2 electromagnetic aircraft launch systems or emails, and 2 steam catapults, along with 4 arresting gear systems to efficiently launch and recover 60 to 70 aircraft, including F-35C Lightning II and FA-18 Super Hornets.
4. Weapons elevators that changed the game. Deep inside CV. N-79 is one of its most underrated revolutions. Advanced electromagnetic weapons elevators. Older carriers relied on slow, cable-driven systems that became bottlenecks during high-tempo operations. Kennedy's elevators move munitions at 3 times the speed, delivering weapons directly from magazines to the flight deck without crossing crew spaces. This drastically cuts rearm times and reduces the number of sailors required to move bombs and missiles. Faster elevators mean faster turnarounds. Faster turnarounds mean sustained air dominance. It's not flashy tech, but it's the difference between a carrier that looks powerful and one that actually is powerful under fire.
The ship's weapons elevators can move munitions at 3 times the speed of previous carriers, enhancing logistics and operational readiness.
5. Sensors, radar, and the shield around the giant. A ship this valuable doesn't rely on size alone. CVN-79 is protected by a layered defensive system anchored by the AN/SPY-3 dual-band radar, originally developed for Zumwalt-class destroyers. This radar provides full 3D tracking, encrypted data links, and real-time combat control across air and surface threats. For hard defense, Kennedy carries evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, rolling airframe missiles, and Phalanx CIWS for last-ditch interception. But the real protection comes from integration, the carrier strike group. Destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and airborne early warning aircraft form a moving shield around Kennedy. Alone, she's formidable. Together, she's nearly untouchable.
In terms of defense and sensors, CVN-79 is outfitted with the latest U.S. Navy-approved systems, including the AN/SPY-3 dual-band radar, originally developed for the Zumwalt-class destroyer, providing full 3D tracking, combat control, and encrypted data links for superior situational awareness. Its armament includes 2 RIM-162 Evolved Sea Sparrow missile, or ESSM launchers, 2 RIM-116 rolling airframe missile launchers, 3 Phalanx Sea-Whiz, and multiple heavy machine guns for close-range defense against air and missile.
6. Why CVN-79 is still stuck at the shipyard. For a ship this powerful, one question keeps coming up. Why hasn't it sailed yet? CVN-79 isn't delayed because it's broken. It's delayed because it's too advanced to rush. Unlike older carriers that fixed problems after delivery, the Navy made a deliberate choice with Kennedy. Everything must work before commissioning. EMALS. Advanced arresting gear, weapons elevators, and digital control systems all interact in ways never done before. One weak link could cripple operations. That's why the Navy slowed down, choosing reliability over headlines. It's frustrating, yes, but this approach avoids years of post-delivery fixes that plagued earlier ships. Kennedy isn't waiting. She's being perfected.
The Zumwalt-class destroyer was originally supposed to be the cool new kid on the block for the U.S. Navy. Back in the hopeful days after the Cold War, the idea was to build a ship that could sneak up close to a coastline and provide serious backup for troops on the ground. It had a weird, inward-sloping hull for extra stealth, and an engine that could basically power a whole city. It carried 2 massive 155mm guns that were meant to hit targets 80 miles away.
7. The carrier gap that has the Navy nervous. Timing couldn't be worse. The legendary USS Nimitz is scheduled to retire in 2026. If CVN-79 isn't ready by then, the US Navy temporarily drops from 11 carriers to just 10. That's not a small number. It's a global power shift. With rising tensions worldwide, every carrier matters. Losing even one creates stress across deployments, forces longer rotations, and pushes crews harder. That's why planners are debating extending Nimitz's service or reshuffling fleets. Kennedy isn't just another ship. She's the keystone preventing a dangerous capability gap. 8. The moment the nuclear heart came alive. Late 2025 marked a quiet but historic milestone. CVN-79's nuclear reactors were powered up, and for the first time, her propellers turned at the pier. This wasn't ceremonial. It was proof that the most complex power plant ever put on a warship actually works. At the same time, EMALS testing began using massive deadload sleds fired down the catapults, simulating everything from light drones to fully loaded fighter jets. This is the moment a carrier goes from steel to living machine. From here on, there's no theory, only results. 9. Testing the limits before war ever does. Deadload testing may look simple, but it's brutal. Giant orange sleds slam down the catapults again and again under different weights and speeds, replicating real combat launches. Engineers don't just watch, they measure stress, alignment, electrical response, and mechanical endurance. Veterans who worked on earlier carriers admit this is where lessons from CVN-78 finally paid off. Problems found on Ford were corrected here before Kennedy ever leaves the dock. This is how mistakes don't follow the ship into battle. You don't test during war, you test until nothing breaks. 10. What CVN-79 will mean once she deploys. When USS John F. Kennedy finally deploys, she won't just join the fleet, she'll reset expectations. With F-35C stealth fighters, growlers, helicopters, and future unmanned aircraft, she becomes a floating airbase capable of influencing events thousands of miles inland. Her reactors provide power for weapons not yet revealed. Her automation reduces crew size by hundreds, saving billions over her lifespan. And her design ensures relevance well into the mid-21st century. CVN-79 isn't built for today's wars. She's built for the ones no one's ready for. 11. The real cost of power and the human side inside CVN-79. USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, shocked many with its final cost of roughly $13.3 billion, making it the most expensive warship ever built. CVN-79, however, tells a different story. Thanks to lessons learned, improved construction flow, and earlier system integration, John F. Kennedy comes in at approximately $11.3 billion, nearly $2 billion cheaper, while being just as capable. That reduction isn't cosmetic. It reflects a smarter build, fewer late-stage fixes, and long-term savings across the ship's 50-year lifespan. Inside the ship, life has changed too. Automation allows Kennedy to operate with around 800 fewer sailors than a Nimitz-class carrier. That means reduced fatigue, lower operating costs, and improved living conditions. Modern berthing areas, quieter machinery spaces, digital controls, and improved climate systems make daily life more sustainable for the crew. CVN-79 isn't just built to fight longer. It's built to keep its sailors effective while doing it. CVN-79 isn't just steel and reactors, it's a warning. If you want more deep dives like this, hit subscribe, like the video, and stay ready. The ocean never sleeps. If you love the world's most powerful military machines, subscribe, like the video, share it, and let us know your verdict in the comments.